One of the most important catalysts for Tesla stock and business is the progress of full self-driving. Today, Tesla released FSD version 12.5.1.2 to a number of vehicles. Elon Musk also confirmed yesterday that this month is going to be one of the biggest updates for FSD, with 12.5 rolling out to Hardware 3 cars and Cybertruck. Plus, the merging of the software stack for both highway and city streets for the first time. And most importantly, we hopefully will get actual smart summon, banish, and reverse. Today, we'll watch 7 short clips of how well FSD version 12.5.1 is doing in the real world. I've got Hans Nelson joining us. Hans has his own YouTube channel called Hans C. Nelson. Welcome, Hans.
Thanks for having me, Herbert.
So this is a number of videos. 12.5, the progress is critical for us. Apparently, this month is absolutely incredible. So they're constantly being new things being happening. And so let's take a look at this. First off, if you take a look at Tesla's website and you're trying to buy a Tesla, in their online configurator, as you're choosing what to buy, they actually now have a video of full self-driving and how the various features work. Just a very short video clip here, but you can see that they're actually allowing you to watch a video, teaching you. And we know that Elon has already told the team members, staff, that every time somebody wants to buy a new vehicle, you should give them a 5 to 10 minute demo, show them how to use it, make sure that they're aware. He's very, very confident at this point that this is something that you should be doing. And then, so this leads some people like Omar saying that with the 12.5 now here, FSD is now a consumer grade product for the first time. This is something that we should be sharing far and wide. Every consumer should be able to be testing this now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think that that's part of the reason why we are now starting to allocate some resources to giving those test rides and, putting these videos right in the website so that during the purchasing experience, we're introducing this as something that the consumer can think about, hopefully experience. And then over time, I think there will be a variety of ways for them to, purchase as well. And so that quality threshold of being something that a general user can now enjoy and get value out of is a big inflection point that, if you think about the book Crossing the Chasm that talks about, you've got your early hardcore adopters that they just love the technology and they're interested in how everything works and they want to live in the future. And so they're going to, buy these things even when they're way more expensive than they're going to be, or work way less well than they will, at large scale. That is a completely different demographic of consumer than the mass market. And you have to refine the product to where you solve a lot of those headaches and you bring the price down to a point that consumers can afford. And I think we're really now right around that change where FSD the functionality will increase dramatically to justify the price, or maybe they will also offer price points where reduced functionality are significantly cheaper. And then of course, the performance of the system is getting to be incredibly smooth and comfortable, and very appropriate for normal people who are not the tech enthusiasts that we are, to use the system and feel like it's a great product instead of something that makes them nervous or anxious or is a headache to use.
Yeah, this is it. We're here. It's fun. We are here. We're seeing the progress. So let's take a look at the other updates that seem to be happening right now. You've got Cybertruck. So it looks like that there's actually code. Tesla Scope has an app, and they're noticing that those people that has the app, they notice that a new Tesla software update, 2024.2.26.4 on a Cybertruck in Louisiana. So somebody has a Cybertruck and they're using probably an employee, and that's possibly true, because here's Chuck Cook in his neighborhood. He actually saw a Cybertruck. There it is right there. And so it's happening. So I don't know. A lot of people are so excited about FSD and a Cybertruck. I am not. I mean, it's like less than 70,000 people will have it by the end of this year. It's a small minority, but it just shows that it's now there. It's making it available for all cars, and shortly Hardware 3 as well.
Well, I think it's important for two reasons. I mean, as far as the fleet is concerned, I agree. It's not a large percentage of the fleet at this point. But for people who are purchasing the Cybertruck, it is a big deal because, in so many ways, the Cybertruck is the best Tesla ever released. But to have to drive it manually all the time and not be able to use FSD when you're on long road trips, I think it is a major annoyance, just not necessarily something that's un an unmitigated disaster for the Cybertruck or anything, but it is something that, if you do want to haul or you want to, take a long trip, that really is such an important feature, especially if you've paid for it. And so bringing it to those people is important. And then the other thing is just the technical feat that's involved in porting this software to a
Right.
new vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think that is an
A new
important thing to
shape.
remember, is that, we've got different camera placements and it is a unique setup of hardware for full self-driving. And so if they can get it working, then that is an important technical milestone that we can
It's a
show,
good point.
hey, this is something that we can move to new vehicle form factors.
If you can do Cybertruck, you can do anything, especially
Yep.
if the Cybertruck has the 4 different steering wheels, so it moves differently than all of our
Yes.
previous vehicles. So it looks like that there's a new software called 12.5.1.2, and it's now based on a summer update. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's it's, I guess it's converging with the most recent software that they've released to everybody. But the hope here is that that's going to include support for hardware 3 vehicles. So it looks like that this is going to be it. Once they roll this out, then it's going to be the one stack. So let's take a look at 12.5.1.1. And I just said point 1.2 is out too. But this one is looking really good. Here's AI Driver. He tests this really, really closely. And he's saying that he thinks it's 100% paying attention to handheld science now. So let's take a look at how that looks. You can see the human there on the visualization, and you can see the stop sign. I guess but again, he was backing away. So that was the argument some people had before, was if he wasn't backing away and he just used hand signs. But yeah, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it does still recognize it in the visualization as a stop sign the whole time, but it begins to move pretty much immediately. And there's definitely something going on there that obviously it's being able to process the situation very quickly and respond appropriately very quickly. And so I think it's more than likely correct that, JD is right. It's paying attention to that handheld sign, and it can take the context clues of the entire scene into account and just make its decision.
Yeah, well, I trust the AI driver. He's been following this closely, but I'm not so sure that that particular demo is proven to me. I've seen it before, and just the person moving backwards could do it as opposed to the hand signals.
Hmm.
It's just another little clip that he shared that he was thought it was great because he himself was looking the left the entire time. He was looking for approaching traffic. This often happens when you're turning right, and you'll see that there's a blind corner. There's actually somebody there. People go 55 plus miles per hour on this road. It's a blind corner. He did not see this person at all until the car had already started controlling, controlling the FSD was making sure that it doesn't hurt that driver. So let's take a quick look here. So he goes to the stop sign. He personally said he was looking to the left. The car's obviously turning right. And then right there's a person right there immediately. So, but the car saw it, did it. So it's just a nice little example of having extra cameras can help you do this. And then this one's cool. You thought the last intersection was crazy? Take a look. This, yeah, take a look at this. It looks normal to me so far. Hmm. Sorry, I didn't see anything there. What did you see?
Well, if you back up just a second, it looks like the end of that intersection. So it's like you've got 5 different roads. So there's one coming in on the right, one coming in on the left, and
Where?
then if you keep so right here, so you got one road on your right hand side coming in. Oh, I guess that's the parking lot there, and then there's a road on the left. I think it's just the way that all those things come together real quickly. Um,
Trying to
yeah,
find it. I know I'm just missing it. So let's take a look. So first, he doesn't want to turn left, so the car gets to the right lane, and then it just decides to get it straight. That's fine. That's a bit of a cheat, but that's fine. Why do that? I guess this is it right here, where you've got a lane on the left, you got a lane on the right.
and then
I don't know.
they say only on them. So I think the one on the right is it right turn only. So you're supposed to go to the
Oh,
right lane,
yeah,
and then
gotcha,
you're supposed to
gotcha.
come back to the left lane,
I see.
and yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, okay. So it's okay. So that was one other visual that he shared there. So this is a very important month. Omar kind of summarized it that this month in August, we're expecting that, first of all, 12.5 is going to roll out wide to everybody. Calls it hands-free because now you don't have the steering wheel nag. You're going to have just the vision camera looking at you. And I've been testing it myself and I love it. It's just fantastic. You don't need to, you need to look forward. It knows that if you're looking forward, if you look at your cell phone, mobile phone for a little bit, it'll start telling you got to be careful, but you don't have to put your hands on the steering wheel anymore. You're going to have 12.5 rolled out to hardware 3 cars. You're going to have it rolled out for Cybertruck. They're going to finally merge the highway stack with the city street stack. So it's going to be one software for everything at this point. And you're finally going to get the new features, Smart Summon, which includes banish. You can summon the car to you. You can banish it to find parking lot, and also the ability to reverse. And Elon said, yep, it's all going to come this month. What's your expectations?
Well, I think that that's definitely the plan for all of these things. We're only 2 days out from the initial planned event date for the robotaxi reveal on 8/8, and so I think that that is the reason that they were trying to get all these things done, and hopefully they don't get pushed back. We have seen actually Smart Summon, you know, delayed a number of times, and I hope that we don't see that again. I think right now just the breadth of 12.5, I think we've got a good chance that we actually will see all of these things rolled out here in the next few weeks. And I'm very excited. I mean, every single one of those things is a very significant milestone. And so, if we saw all of those things over the course of the rest of this year, that would be good progress. If we can get all of them this month, that's really, really positive. Because, like we said, expanding the lineup of FSD into the Cybertruck, there's a couple of reasons that's an important milestone, but also being able to make the larger parameter count model that 12.5 is running operate on the hardware 3 computer will help to allay a lot of concerns and fears that investors have about the ability of hardware 3 to continue to operate the latest versions of the software. Um, Actually, Smart Summon is a huge feature for just completing. Like, I don't think that FSD, even supervised, is fully feature complete without actually Smart Summon. And so adding that in there, obviously is huge. And then making it single stack, which should not only improve the way that the car feels and the consistency of how it feels on city streets to the highway stack, but I think that the planner in 12.5 is just going to be a significantly better planner. And so I think that's actually going to raise the bar of the performance on the highway, which is already really good, just to the next level. And having that unified stack also, I think, will be an important foundation that's necessary in order to just continue to drive down the incident rate, the error rate, the intervention rate, and get safety just to continue to increase over time.
Okay. Let's take a look at more videos. So this one's from Omar. I'm having troubles because I'm trying to find out what's going on here. But he says this is 12.5.1 is so sophisticated. Here's 3 of his favorite moments from the drive. So tell me what's going on, because I don't think there's audio attached to it.
Let's see. We're navigating kind of some surface streets. We've got a cyclist on the right-hand side, and the car is handling, it had some oncoming traffic. It slotted in behind the cyclist very well for a little while, and then when it had a chance to pass, it passed, and that was very good handling of that situation.
Oh,
Let's
nice.
see. Okay.
It knew to go there. Nice.
So tell the viewers why that's important.
What, you don't want to be an a-hole.
Yeah, and that's something that, FSD a lot of times it doesn't realize when it needs to be in a lane early enough. And so it'll drive down past a whole bunch of people and be like, oh, I actually needed to turn there. Here, can you please let me in? Like someone who is a jerk.
Yeah.
And so that's an example of what I was talking about earlier, where it's got a better, longer time horizon planning. So, I think the issue of why it was being a jerk before was because it was really only planning out 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds. And so if you realize that, hey, I need to be making decisions that are consistent with a long, like 5 to 10 seconds, you've got to be thinking further ahead. And the previous planner just wasn't doing that very well. And so to see it making those decisions that you have to make further out in time is a very large indicator of the quality of the planner's performance. And I think that signals incredibly positive things for the long term.
Okay, well, that's Omar. So, obviously he shows sometimes it's regressing, sometimes it's getting better, but these are looking good. Now here's Chuck Cook. Highlight clip from my FSD 12.5.1 drive today in Hurricane Debbie. So it must be raining like crazy. Some interesting and impressive behavior, even while the degraded badge was present the entire time. So that's Chuck's highlights. Oh my gosh, look at that crazy weather.
The badge is staying up. Usually in the past previous stacks, this badge was almost directly correlated with the windshield wiper speed. So, that is something. So interesting up here ahead, we do have flashing lights. Sometimes that does happen during weather. Okay, let me go ahead and stop talking here. And we're doing an unprotected left into this tiny little intersection. We do have a car turning to the right. So we have perhaps a more complex scenario than we did last time I did this. There is some standing water on the streets and a lot of spray. I can see fine. I'm not worried about this at all. But the flashing yellow up there, the intersection light, is creating a little bit of a dynamic to where the traffic... Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens here. Should be coming to a stop here.
Nice.
And I'm going to delete that point, and we're going to continue here. It should go to the right. That's great. It's doing exactly what it did last time.
Wow.
And now we got an unprotected left crossing into a merge scenario with a little bit of an obstruction here. It needs to creep. Now, that's a great view. It could go right now if it wanted. Now I'd rather it wait. That gap was plenty big for it to go, and it chose not to. So there may be another buffer on here, or it's waiting for the traffic from the right. Okay, here's our clear to the left. We are not clear to the right, so it needs to merge and wait. Here's your camera view. I'm just looking over to the right-hand shoulder. We have 2 cars to go, and I'm sticking out a little bit, and it waited on both of those, and we're crossing 2 lanes. That was perfect. Here in a hurricane. Wow.
Wow.
Good job. While the badge was staying up and everything. All right, flashing yellow and flashing red here. We have had some people say it doesn't know how to behave here. Let's see what it does. Okay, wow, it's treating the flashing red perfectly. I had a flashing red arrow, and these are very dangerous intersections.
So that flashing red was the biggest concern that people had. It wasn't able to address it. Now seems like it seems to know how to deal with the flashing red. That was crazy. That was really good.
Yeah, and it's hard. I've noticed that the ability in mine to read signs, like speed limit signs when it's raining, plummets to almost nothing. And so, it seemed like it was doing a good job with all the stop signs and everything. And obviously, the decisions that it made were consistently very good, other than, missing one window, which, that's
good. Safety.
something that even as a human, a lot of times you're like, oh, I could have gone there. Actually, I misjudged it a little bit. But other than that, like pretty much flawless, perfect decision making. Very, very impressive, especially given the weather.
That was crazy. Remember that one where it went in and then he wanted to change the direction, so it came back into it. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so let's take a look at another highlight clip from Chuck Cook. And he goes at the request. Oh, no, that's not the one. This is the unprotected left turns highlight clip from today's 12.5.1.1 unprotected left turns video. Multiple runs, good results, and one new odd behavior. Let's take a look at this. This is his famous unprotected left turn.
All right, let's see what we got here on number 3. Good, and it's a stop. Let's see what our creep looks like. Hopefully we got some more traffic coming. Yep, got some good traffic. All right, this is good. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to wait here for a few more seconds. It looks like it's still gonna be clear from the right. So it looks like most of the waiting on these first few is definitely looking for traffic from the left. Now, here's an interesting one. We have a very small gap that I'm not gonna let it take. Oh, don't go. Okay, did you see it roll there? Look at the accelerometers. It started to roll, and I was going to disengage if it committed, but it didn't commit. Now here's its perfect chance, and now it'll commit. So now we gotta wait from the right on this one, so we cannot go. Is it gonna stick its butt out? I'm gonna leave the cameras up for you. Left lane is open if it wants to go. Oh, it's taking the left lane. So good. The left lane with opposing traffic coming, it used it. That is a very, look at us hugging the left line again. Wow, what's going on with this lane centering? I mean, it's on the yellow line almost. FSD normally doesn't do this. In any case, this is a debatable subject about jumping into the nearest lane. I'm glad it does, but we do have to be very careful and be willing and ready to give an aggressive commit with fast coming traffic from the rear. Just something to keep in mind if the Tesla AI team is watching. If you jump out in front of traffic and somebody changes lanes, you need to use the full commit. Let's try another one.
Wow. So first of all, I love this part right here. So you can see the blue line. You can see that car is thinking, okay, there's that blue line goes, okay, I might go. And then it's changed its mind, which is perfect. Then it's thinking, and then it goes, okay, every time at once it goes, should I go? Should I, then it goes, okay, commit. Isn't it? Isn't that great? Yep. And I think the reason why it hugged the left line, I'm just going to guess, is because obviously there was that right there. That car was on that line. The left lane was open. It decided to go despite that car flying through. And then it goes, okay, I better hug the left lane.
Well, and I like the timing of its commit into that lane too, that it didn't get all the way into that lane as the car in the center lane was passing. It was nosing in and preparing. And so, it didn't wait too long, but it also wasn't all the way in the lane as that car passes by right there. And
what do you mean?
So you can see right here, the car is already passing him and he's still not all the way into the lane.
I see.
And so
right
just
here.
like kind of a nice early, but not like it just gives him a 2 or 3 extra feet worth of clearance between him and that car. And the ability even to, slam on the brakes if it noticed that the car was changing lanes or something like that. I just that was a very well executed maneuver.
Fantastic. He did multiple runs. He said it was good results. So it's sounding like, this is really good. And so Omar said to Chuck, hey, let's do a throwback video. Show me what it used to be like in December 2020, just so people can see the comparison of how it looks between that. So that's fun. This is from December 2020. This is how this vehicle used to behave.
I'm going to try to film some unprotected left turns with an additional camera that's set up and mounted on my B-pillar. So with an obstruction to the left, I'm trying to demonstrate what you can see from where the human is, where the B-pillar is. So here's the stop line. See if the car creeps a little bit.
It takes its time to creep. Didn't quite know.
The projected line definitely wants to go across, and it's looking at traffic going both directions.
Look at the old visualization too on the right, on the bottom. That looks so
A child
awful.
drew
Speed
that.
limit on this road is about 45 miles an hour, but cars sometimes go 55.
You barely can see anything because it hasn't
Typical
creeped
scenario.
forward yet. There you go. Come on, dude. Come on, creep.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't used to have good creeping behavior, so that's, I mean, that's part of what we're seeing
Now
here
there's
is
a car in the median, so it needs to wait either way.
it's pre-creepy.
Oh man, taking a long time to think, but that's okay. Okay, so
I don't know where it was going to go. There's a car
yeah,
on the other side.
Yep.
So I'm just going to sit here for a second and let that car proceed and let the pillar footage kind of let you see how the oncoming traffic comes. Let's knock out some unprotected left-hand turns.
all right, that's good. So that is 2020, August 2020. So it's been a while. So that is huge progress in 4 years. Of course, some people think that that's not good enough, but I mean, hey, we are getting closer and closer. So this is Omar. Here's what he's saying. Okay, so he said that in the past, right, we used to have the steering wheel nag, and that's been removed because now it's just vision only in cabin. The cabin camera is looking at your eyes. But
And that's
he thinks-
specifically on 12.4 and 12.5. So people who are still on 12.3.6, we will soon have our steering wheel nag removed as well.
Gotcha. And then it says here, but he thinks that once they turn off the cabin camera attention monitoring, that's when you will get robotaxi. So they haven't turned it off yet. He's saying that they probably will turn it off on highways under 440 miles per hour. Then they'll slowly increase the speed. Then they'll turn it off for city streets, traffic jams, then higher speeds. And that's sort of the path. Do you think that that's what might happen as well? Just slowly
Yeah, I
getting
think
better?
that's a great path forward, that it really rolls out the risk exposure and kind of extends it in a way that, you know, it's trying to use it everywhere that it's feasible as they continue to gather more and more data. I think that that is a very likely scenario. And I can even go a step beyond that to say that somewhere in that time frame, they may be willing to split out different levels of those things. That, hey, if you want unsupervised in traffic jams and you are on a $99 subscription, you've got to pay an extra $50 a month to have that nice little piece of functionality or something to that effect, because I highly, highly doubt that $99 a month is going to get you full unsupervised functionality as Tesla continues to make these things essentially robotaxi capable. That price point is far too low for the value that people are getting in return.
You think there'll be tiers then? Okay, we'll see if that happens. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Hans. Follow him on his YouTube channel, Hans Nelson. We saw quite a bit of progress with 12.5.1. Can't wait for all of us to get it. And it's all going to happen this month. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.